All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ron Van Sussen. Welcome to another episode of Essentials for Your Journey. I'm excited to be here, and I am excited to share with you today's supplement. We are going to be talking about Adaptiv. That's right. We are going to be talking about Adaptiv. I'm going to open this up and show you what they look like real quick. This right here, there it is, a little brown capsule. It's not too big, very easy to swallow. And very unique. You know, doTERRA doesn't make another capsule that looks like this. Some of other doTERRA supplements, it's hard to distinguish them. You know, the gel caps or the soft gels, you know, a lot of those look very much the same. Some of the capsules look very much the same, but this one is very unique. And it's not only unique in its appearance, it's also unique in what it does for us. So let's talk about what is Adaptiv. Well, Adaptiv is the calming blend. And so it helps us deal with maybe feelings, negative feelings or overwhelmed feelings or sad feelings or panic feelings, all those kind of negative emotions that we can get ourselves caught up in. That's what Adaptiv is here to help support us through. So let's talk about how it does that. And the best way for me to tell you how it does it is by telling you what's in it. So let's jump right in. And one of the things we're going to talk about first about the essential oils that are in the Adaptiv Calming Blend. We have 4 different essential oils. And when you hear what they are, it kind of makes sense. So first one is lavender. We've got lavender in here. Now that makes sense, doesn't it? Because lavender is very calming. It helps you rest, helps you relax. You know, these are all great things when we're not feeling, you know, the best emotionally. When we're feeling stressed or we're worried or whatever the case may be. When we're having negative emotions, lavender is very comforting, very reassuring, and I'm very grateful that it's in this particular blend. So another essential oil that we have here is wild orange. Now, wild orange, unlike lavender, is very uplifting. So we've got the lavender that's kind of calming us and soothing us, and at the same time, we've got the wild orange that's saying, "Hey, it's a beautiful day out there. It's you know, let's get over this and let's move on and let's have a great day." So that's what I love about having both of those oils in the Adaptiv blend. Now we got 2 more oils in here. One of them is coriander seed and the other is fennel seed, 2 seed oils. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, I don't understand. Why are there 2 seed oils in the Adaptiv blend? What do? They don't sound particularly calming or uplifting, either one. Well, here's my theory on why they're there. Seed oils are very good for digestion. They really support our digestive system, and they're very soothing to our digestive system and very calming. Now, one of the things I know is when we tend to get worked up emotionally, it goes to our stomachs. You know, our stomachs get upset very easily. We don't want to eat. When we're stressed or we eat too much or whatever is going on. So there's a definite correlation between our emotional health and our digestive system. So our digestive system needs that support. And coriander seed and fennel seed are 2 great ways to provide some good support to our digestive system when we're trying to work out some of these negative emotions that we might be experiencing. All right, so that's the 4 essential oils we've got. They're great essential oils, but we've got some other wonderful ingredients here that we need to talk about. Let's talk about Sceletium. Now, Sceletium is pronounced, I pronounce it Sceletium. I looked it up and I did some, you know, different research there, and some people call it Sceletium, and that's how it's spelled, Sceletium. But from what I've studied and I think it might be one of those kind of regional things or national things. You know how in the United States we say schedule and in the UK they say schedule. You know, not one's right or wrong. It's just a different way of saying it. It just depends on where you're from. So that might be the case with Sceletium. I don't know. I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. So I'm going to call it Sceletium. If you want to call it Sceletium, that's fine. All good. But what is it? What is Sceletium? Sceletium actually comes from a succulent plant in South Africa. They grow in these big areas, kind of like these big pods or big patches of them. They just grow in these different regions of South Africa. But they have to be tested very carefully because the active ingredient in Sceletium that helps us make, it's kind of calmly uplifting, you know, is what this ingredient does that's in the Sceletium. In some of these patches, it can be too strong. The patches aren't really usable. So doTERRA is very carefully sourcing this. They work with another wonderful company to source the Sceletium, and it's very responsibly sourced. It's you know, just everything you would expect doTERRA to do when they're sourcing, just like they source their oils. They're doing the same thing with the Sceletium. So very responsibly sourced, and they make sure it's at the exact right strength, the exact right concentration that's going to give us that gentle, uplifting, yet calming feeling. So good stuff there. Now, Sceletium's nothing new. It's been around for a very long time. In fact, it's often used in pet medications. Believe it or not, if you've ever had a dog that was like afraid of thunderstorms, and they would just shake. I know when I was growing up, we had a dog that would just shake and was just so frightened of thunderstorms. Well, if you gave your dog a medication, more than likely it had Sceletium in it. Or if you have a pet that, you know, a dog that barks incessantly, and the veterinarian prescribed a medication to help calm him or her down so they didn't bark so much, odds are it had Sceletium in it. So Sceletium's been around a long time, very safe, not habit forming, it's good to use, all good, and doTERRA has sourced it in a very good way and put it here in the Adaptiv. So, all right, let's move on from Sceletium and let's talk about GABA. GABA, G-A-B-A, stands for gamma-aminobutyric acid, and that is a neurotransmitter that binds to the receptors in our brain and in our nervous system that help control emotions. So, kind of like we've talked about how copaiba binds to the CB2 receptors for pain and inflammation, well, the GABA does kind of the same thing, but it does it on the emotional receptors, kind of dials them down. It's kind of a way of, they say it's GABA is kind of like pumping the brakes. So if we start having some negative emotions, it helps us not spiral downward and make things worse. So we don't want to make things worse if we're already experiencing something negative. We don't want to go down the rabbit hole, right? So GABA kind of pumps the brakes, says, hey, chill out, everything's fine. Let the Sceletium do the work, let me do my work, and we're all going to be good, and your mindset's going to change. So two great products there, and we've got one more that we're going to talk about, and that is the Ahi Flower. So Ahi Flower is an omega. And omegas have shown to have a very positive effect on mood and emotions. So that's one of the reasons that the omega is in there. Ahi Flower, by the way, is the most powerful omega we can take from seed form. So it's much better for us than flaxseed because it's much more bioavailable. And we've talked about bioavailability a lot in the past. So the Ahi Flower is very good for us, gives us that, gives us that little boost emotionally, but it's also feeding our brain. So if we're feeding our brain, and we know how the omegas are so important for cognitive function, for brain development, if we're feeding our brain and we're developing things and strengthening our brain at the same time we're taking things that are going to help us feel more positive and have a better emotional response, then what is our brain going to learn? Over time, it's going to learn how to make these more permanent. So we're going to train our brains and feed our brains at the same time to think positively and have better emotions. And we're going to do it naturally with a product that is not habit forming at all. That, folks, pretty much sums up the Adaptiv Blend. That is why I love this. I use this. I've used it since doTERRA released it about 1.5 years or so ago now. And I've used it ever since. And I love this product. I do notice a difference. And I feel great. So I strongly urge you to get this, have this in your LRP. This is $39 wholesale for 30 days. 30-day supply, 30 capsules. You take one a day. Not bad at all, $39, and it's going to do a lot for you. So get this on your LRP. How much is it retail? I don't know. I don't care. I don't pay retail, and neither should you. So that's it for now. That's the Adaptiv Calming Blend. If you have any questions or any comments, please write them in the comments section of this video, and I'll be happy to respond and answer any questions or address any comments you may have. Thank you so much for watching. It's so good to be back with you, and I look forward to being with you again very, very soon. Until next time, of course, we wish you wellness.